Hello, students. Today we are going to take an up close look at the group of animals that we know as insects. The scientific study of insects is known as entomology, and a scientist who spends their career studying insects is an entomologist. There are over 1 million species of insects known today, and they are a broad and diverse group of animals that come in a variety of colors, shapes, and sizes with many different features that make them well suited for the habitat that they live in. As you know, all insects belong to the kingdom Animalia, so they share those 6 characteristics that we've talked about in common with all other animals. They are part of the kingdom Animalia along with robins, elephants, whales, and even us humans. We all belong to the same kingdom, Animalia. Insects, however, make up a large percentage of the animal kingdom. In fact, they make up about 75% of the animal kingdom. So that means if you randomly selected 4 animals off of planet Earth at random selection, on average, 3 out of those 4 animals would actually be insects. That is a large percentage of the animal kingdom. So they are extremely important on planet Earth. Insects belong to the phylum Arthropoda. As you know, arthropods are animals that have a hard outer shell. And what do we call that shell? That's right, an exoskeleton. So all arthropods have an exoskeleton. In order to be an insect arthropod, though, insects belong to the class Insecta, and they will all have these specific characteristics. All insects will have 6 legs, 3 body segments, the head, thorax, and abdomen. They will have 2 pairs of wings. If they have wings, it's usually going to be 2 pairs. They have an exoskeleton, and those insects that we are going to look at can belong to 32 different orders. To determine the order that an insect belongs to, we need to look at their wing shape. We have to investigate their body shape and size, their mouth parts, and their developmental stages. There are, as I said, 32 different insect orders, but we're only going to look at 8 of the most common orders here in Minnesota. These are the ones you'll most likely find on our field trip today. First will be the insect order Orthoptera. Orthopterans are your common grasshoppers and crickets. Another fun one that belongs to Orthoptera or praying mantis. You can find all of these, yes, even praying mantis in Minnesota. And they have chewing mouth parts designed for chewing the grass and green plants that they live in and on. Orthoptera. Our second order of insects are Coleoptera, and these are all beetles, like this lady beetle. They have chewing mouth parts, they are predators, and they are very important decomposers, like the dung beetle is a very important decomposer. You'll notice a Coleoptera, a beetle, will have a distinct line down the center of its abdomen, the very back mid of its abdomen, where its wings meet. This is a very important line. It's called the elytra, and it's where the wings fold, and there's an extra hard outer covering on the surface of the wings. All beetles have this, that distinct line down the middle of their back. And then we have what most people think is the most beautiful order of insects, and that's Lepidoptera. This moth and all butterflies belong to the insect order Lepidoptera. They have siphoning mouth parts, and you can probably guess that that is so that they can easily access the nectar found inside the stigma and style of flowering plants. They have a little tube that's almost like a straw where they can suck the nectar straight out of the flower. Pretty cool adaptation. Those are Lepidoptera. And then there's Odonata, like this dragonfly, and damselflies. Both dragonflies and damselflies belong to the insect order Odonata. They are very amazing insects. Their wings can move independently of the rest of their body, and they can hover. We don't see that in many other insect species except for Odonata. They are severe, fierce predators. They're so cool. They are carnivores, and we know them here in Minnesota very well. We appreciate them because they keep our mosquito population in check. They prey upon mosquitoes and they have chewing mouth parts that allow them to um, eat their prey. Those are Odonata, dragonflies and damselflies. And then we have Hemiptera. These are often called the true bugs. And you can distinguish a true bug, a Hemiptera, by the X over its back that its wings make. They fold in an X shape. And you'll see this in box elder bugs, stink bugs, squash bugs, yes, even assassin bugs. And they're called true bugs because, as you probably noticed, they all have the word bug in their common name. And they'll have that X in their back. Hemiptera have piercing mouth parts, and they too are predators, as you probably guessed by the common name assassin bug for this one. Homoptera, like this aphid, are often very tiny insects, and they blend in really well with their surroundings. Being very small, they need to have that feature, that adaptation, to keep them protected from predators, and so they blend in through camouflage with their surroundings. Diptera, also extremely common in Minnesota, like this housefly. The insect order Diptera includes flies, mosquitoes, and gnats. Something unique about them is that they have only a single pair of wings. If they have wings, it's just a single pair. They are important important decomposers, and as you know, because of our very common mosquito, Diptera have piercing mouth parts. And then last, but certainly not least, Hymenoptera. This is such an important order of insects. Hymenoptera includes bees, wasps, and ants, and they are most often distinguished and selected by their hairy bodies. As you know, that's a very important feature for them because they are some of our most abundant pollinators in the insect world. They have chewing mouth parts and lapping mouth parts. So they have two types of mouth parts. The chewing mouth part is there to help them chew through parts of a flower that they need to get to. And then the lapping mouth part is there to help them get nectar. So they can lap up the nectar almost like a cat or a dog laps at their water. They are so important to our ecosystem. We need them for pollination here in our Minnesota ecosystem. So there you have a very brief introduction to the most common insect orders. I hope you're able to encounter the majority of them today on our field trip. Good luck.